Yes, people, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV and welcome to Domain, Northumbria Uni venue here. We're here because this is going to be the Cup Final fan zone for Newcastle United. But before we get into all those juicy details, we're joined by a very special guest today, local hero, Mr. Andrew Cushin. How we doing, mate?
Thank you for having us, mate. How are you?
All good, mate. All good. Pleasure, mate. Good to see you. We've chatted for a while now on Instagram and stuff, back and forth about Newcastle, and it's finally good to see you in person, mate.
And you, mate, and you. Listen, we're through the final of the cup, man. Do you know, all of this is just nonsense. We're through the final of the cup. It's the best time to be a Geordie, this.
It is, mate. It's an unbelievable time to be a Geordie. We've had years of suffering, years. I never thought we'd be doing cup finals anytime soon, in recent times under the previous ownership. And even now, a year ago, we didn't think it was going to be this soon, did we, getting a cup finals?
No, I mean, I think, what was it, like 3 years before, I think City got the final when they beat Stoke, and that was the League Cup. That was their day at Wembley. I think it was like 2011 or 12. We could potentially win the League Cup in 12 months of being taken over, 12 to 18 months, whatever, and that's just ridiculous. I don't think any team that's been taken over has had a quick enough turnaround like that.
It's mental,
but
isn't it?
The money hasn't even started rolling in yet. That's what everybody seems to, keep on building up on it, whether we've got the money and all that, but money hasn't even been spent. We're just turning our average players into unbelievable players, you know what I mean? Everybody's pulled their socks up. It's good to see.
Exactly, because the goal scorers who got us here were two local lads who've been at the club. Dan Boone was signed for the takeover, 10-12 million? Nobody was wanting to sign him, and most importantly, Sean Longstaff in the semi-final scoring 2 goals. He's been here for years.
I mean, he's turned unbelievable, hasn't he? He's absolutely ridiculous. But then even look at, nobody's really broke the bank. I mean, we haven't really seen what the likes of Isak and that can do just yet, you know what I mean? We've seen glimpses of it, but obviously he's been injured and all that. But you look at Nick Pope, he's arguably one of the best keepers in the Premier League now, and he was £10 million, It's class. You look at Fabian Shaw, he was £3 million when we got him.
£3 million.
And he's now one of the best centre-halves in the league.
In his words, a fucking bargain, is what he said.
Absolute bargain. So
before we get into the final, we'll tell you more about the details of this venue, and there is a link in the description to get your tickets and check it all out and whatnot. We're going to get into a bit about yourself, mate. And before we do talk about you, though, I just want to say, the North East talent, the scene at the minute, is booming, isn't it? I mean, the people that are coming from this region is mental at the minute. You've got yourself, you've got Patrick Toppin, you've got Ben Helmsley, Sam Fender, obviously, you've got me. Do you know what I mean? You've got loads, mate. You've got loads of local talent coming through.
Loads of them coming through. There's loads of them. But no, it's great, man. I don't know. It's got to be something in the water, because it's meant in and I said this a few years ago, right? Particularly when Sam was first coming up. I said it in a couple of interviews, and it was, I made a bit of a claim that Newcastle in the 20s could be like Manchester in the 90s in terms of we're going to have one of the best football teams. It's an amazing city anyway. We've got the best accent, best looking lasses, best looking lads.
Easy.
For one. And then now we're beginning to produce the best music and the best DJs and all that kind of stuff as well. So it's like Sam's an absolute trailblazer for the North East, trailblazer for English music now. The DJs are totally taking over. I'm trying to do me little bits and bobs here and there and trying not to balls up in any interviews and all that kind of stuff. But no, it's a great time to be a Geordie and to be a Newcastle fan in particular. And I don't know what it is. There's got to be something in the water, because it's pretty mad,
It's working, isn't it? I mean, like you say, imagine that if we could get to a scene where Manchester dominated in the 90s in terms of football and music and culture and everything, the whole world had their eyes on that. If Newcastle could do that, I mean, that's what the owners want. They don't just want to invest in the club, they want to invest in the city.
Well, there's absolutely no reason why not, and it's not even there's still, I'm still hearing about new musicians and new bands coming around from the North East every few days, so there's still an emergence of new talent still coming, do you know what I mean? We're not just capped at the ones that we've mentioned now, and the football's obviously getting better, the team's going to get bigger, the club's going to get bigger. It's a good time to be a Geordie. How
did you get started, mate? When did you start playing music? When did you realise you could maybe turn it into a career as well, not just, a hobby playing in pubs and whatnot?
Well, I was never into music, for one. As a band, I was always into me football and all that, like Shea Given, and that was my hero, I used to love going to matches and going to play football on the weekends. We moved house when I was about 14, 15. It's a bit of a fucking odd story. And I went from being in a friendship group of loads of lads and went knocking around the streets and all that to that. I didn't really know anybody where we were living, so out of boredom when I was 16 I picked up the guitar, taught myself a couple of chords. I was skint by about the age of 18. My mum got us my first ever gig in a little pub, supporting a band of bank managers. You can fucking try and say that piss.
Was that the name of the band, or was it just...
No, but they will be
the
forever known as the band of the bank managers, right? So my mum works in a bank and they would colleagues and all that. And I think I got 50 quid for doing half an hour, and I totally fell in love with it from then. And then I started doing the odd little gig here and there in pubs, and then me now sort of manager Lee, he came to one of my first ever gigs, signed a deal with him. Then Noel Gallagher got involved. Everything snowballed. It went pretty mad. And then we're signing record deals and travelling all over the country. So in the space of, I'm 23 now, in the space of 5 years, we've gone from, supporting bank managers to, now supporting people like Noel Gallagher and Paul Weller. And,
That's
really,
insane,
I'm really grateful and really am living the dream, like.
Has that sunk in yet? Do you have days where you have to pinch yourself kind of thing and you're amongst people like Noel Gallagher and that?
I try not to think about it too much. I mean, Noel's helped enormously. He was the one that got my record deal. He was the one that virtually started my career. He produced Where's My Family Gone? I try not to think about it too much. Because I really do understand how grateful and how fortunate I am being in the position that I'm in, and it's frightening sometimes to sit back and think of everything that we've done. I mean, I was like 21 sort of years of age. I was even younger. I think I was 19 when I signed my first record deal, and just me and Lee sitting on the train, and I think I'd only done about 5 gigs, and I going down to sign a record deal with one of the biggest record companies in the world. It was so surreal. So I try not to think about it, but hopefully there's more to come. Hopefully I'm not going to burn out.
No, didn't think like that, mate. And you won't. Of course you won't. If you're only 23. Long way ahead of you, mate.
Still a babby.
Is that why you try and not let it get you, because you think there's a lot more to come?
Yeah, but I'm constantly working. I mean, we're away next week to start the debut album and all that kind of stuff. We've got a big, massive tune show to get announced later in the month. We've got a big UK tour again. We've got a 2-week tour of Italy to get announced. So we're going to venture over into Europe and stuff. So I'm constantly working. I'm constantly trying to better myself, sort of better my craft, better my songwriting. And I think if I sit back and I think of everything that I've achieved so far, or everything that I've done so far, I think I'll get a little bit lost, and I'll fucking, my head will get too big to go through the front door,
That's it, mate.
So it's nice to keep I try and keep myself grounded. I've got a lot of mates who continuously hammer us. So I think they're definitely keeping us sort of grounded, like.
You need to kind of keep that people around you, don't you? That circle around you, not get involved in the wrong crowds.
That's it. And like me Nana and that, she's always after a fucking kitchen or a bathroom or something. So, I think she's giving us a bit of an incentive to keep on working, really.
Always asking for stuff. What's the plans in this year? You said you've got Italy, you've got festivals coming up, you've got tours, you've got a new album in the works, isn't it?
Yeah, so we're doing the debut album. I think we've got a couple of gigs with Noel. We've got a few more bits in Europe. A couple of great festivals as well. I think we're doing Transmit, which is obviously a massive sort of prestigious festival in Glasgow. Doing Hardwick again this year on the bill with Johnny Marr and Noel. As I say, the big Newcastle show, which we'll be announcing soon, which is going to be amazing, and then everything in between. We've got a couple of festivals that I'm headlining, which will be amazing because I've never ever headlined a festival before. So it's another little milestone. I think we're headlining 2 or 3 local festivals this year. And then some big support slots as well. And it's just hopefully just keep on building with the kind of little bit of momentum that we're starting to pick up. As I say, I'm quite a down to earth lad. I love the football. I love the tune. I love going out on the piss with my pals. I'm not doing anything that anybody else at the age of 23 is not doing. Do you know what I mean? The only difference is
apart from playing with
apart from those things. But I really do just see it as my job, and I kind of just want to further it. I try and take everything in, that's some people that get up in the morning at 6 o'clock and they go to work and they're pissing down. I couldn't do that. I just haven't got that in us to do. My job's of a night time, and then everything in between I'm kind of doing the same as another 23-year-old kid.
I mean, we've seen you mentioned the football. You've played at St James Park already, haven't you?
That was pretty special. I tend not to get nervous for gigs. I don't really know why. I just put myself in a position where there's worse things to be doing with your life. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I was shitting myself when I walked out in St James's Park, because it was like, I think I'd done about 10 minutes, but it was right in the centre circle, stood on the grass, just shouting my name on the tannoy and that, man. It was I proper milked it, like.
Number 9, Andrew Cushin.
Number 1, I was a goalkeeper, but I proper milked it, like. Came out, I'm giving it all this, and fucking nobody even, no one was arsed that I was there. Do you know what I mean? But I was still.
Made it your moment, though.
I made it my moment, like, absolutely.
Mate, I'm sure you'll get there one day, man, where you're playing and it's a full sold out crowd. Look at what Sam's doing this summer. Do you know what I mean? So it can be done. You're only at the start of your journey, man. You've got your debut album coming out, big year ahead. So
that's
plenty of big plans.
That's it. There's definitely a plan in place, like.
So we're here, obviously, at Domain Northumbria Uni. This is where Newcastle's Cup Final fan zone will be. This place behind us. We're on the balcony now. I think this is VIP seating. Down there, if you can see it in the background, is the big screen, massive screen there. The place is going to be electric. They're going to have flags here, 1,400 capacity. You have to be quick, mind, because I think they've already sold over 1,000 tickets. So the place, Andrew, on the day is going to be rocking on it, isn't it?
I'm really, really, really looking forward to it. It's going to be amazing. As I say, I'm doing the album in that month. I'm down in Margate, so this is fucking how devoted I am to the cause. I'm getting picked up about 3 o'clock in the morning, driving 6 hours to Newcastle, doing the gig, watching the match, and then I've got to go straight back down and finish off the album.
Straight back down, are you sure? Have a
If Newcastle win, album's probably cancelled, and I'll be away for the next couple
2024 release.
I'll definitely be away for a few days. Like.
You're gonna have to.
I'll be in some stranger's house till 7 in the morning or something like that. You know,
who knows where
it's
you'll
nothing
be.
I haven't done before. But no, it's going to be amazing. I've been in this venue once. I came to watch the Snuts, and I got absolutely wankered. It's a great venue, really, really good like sort of acoustics and that. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be really, really good. And as you say, I think there's definitely over 1,000 done. There'll probably be about another 250 tickets left to go, and I imagine they'll probably go within the next week, so be fast.
Aye, be fast. This place is going to be bouncing on Sunday the 26th of February, and you know what it is, after the game, in the game the atmosphere is going to be bouncing, it's going to be brilliant, it's going to be rocking, and then imagine the scenes, we're right in the city centre here, so you're just going to go out onto the streets, and it's going to be wild in the streets of Newcastle.
Well, it's going to be amazing, it's going to be absolutely amazing. It's as we've said a few times now, what an amazing time to be a Newcastle fan, what an amazing time to be a Geordie, but what an amazing time to be like a sort of Toon fan in general, you know. I think if we do win it and we do bring it home, the town's not going to be on a buzz for, you know, a night or a couple of days. It's going to be electric for the next couple of weeks, it really is, and you'll see it every match day after the final if we've won it, you know, that it's going to be a special time. It's going to be a really special time. So hopefully they can bring it home. But even if they don't, you know, what an occasion. It's like, as you've said before, you know, who would have thought within 12 months or 18 months being taken over would be going to with first final in, you know, 20 years. It's an amazing achievement by everyone, the staff, the club, the players. I think the biggest thing they've got to do is just go and enjoy it, and if they bring it home, amazing. If they don't bring it home, we should all be as proud of them just for getting there, you know. That's
what I was trying to say. That obviously we're going to be gutted if we don't win because we haven't had a trophy for so long. But you just got to be so proud of the players and the club for getting there, because to get there so soon is a huge achievement in itself, considering where Manchester United are, how much money they've spent.
Well, that's it. But it's like, do you know what? And I think the beautiful thing about Newcastle fans is we could. Do not quote me on this because it's not going to happen, but we could go to Wembley and get beat 5-0 off Man U in the final, and I still guarantee every single Newcastle fan that's at that game will clap the fucking lads off the pitch. You know what I mean? And that's what differs us from your other supported teams in the league, because I think we'll stand by them as we have done for years under old pathetic regimes. You know, we'll applaud them off the pitch if they've been beat. We'll applaud them off the pitch if they've won. If they've won, we'll do more than applaud them off the pitch, I imagine. I imagine we'll be on the pitch with them.
Pitch invasion, aye. It is going to be mental to think what London will be like, what Newcastle will be like. I'm telling you, Geordies are going to force another lockdown if we win this cup, because the scenes are just going to be absolutely chaotic. Like,
well, London's going to be smashed to smithereens if we win it, let's be honest. We're just going to
Saturday night before the game.
We're going to invade. That's what we're going to do.
The Geordie invasion. Right, and Andrew, before we sign off, like I say, you're going to be playing. What is it, 3 o'clock, I think, is it? Around 3 o'clock before the game kicks off, he's going to be having his live set, so that'll be getting the fans going. So Andrew will be on stage, the match will be on live, big screens, best place to be in Newcastle for the final, if you obviously can't get to the Wembley, like 95% of Toon fans can't, because the tickets are that's gold dust to get a hold of. But I want your prediction, Andrew, for the final, before we head off.
I want to say we're going to win it 2-1.
Get in.
We're going to win it 2-1.
Like it. I'm going to go for... penalties. 1-1 and then penalties. Penalty drama.
The anxiety.
We don't do anything easy, do we?
The anxiety of that.
I know, I can't handle it.
But never mind, we'll win. I don't know why I'm taking over the interview now.
Same off, mate, sorry.
Thank you for watching. Thank you very much for having us on.
Pleasure, mate. Great to see you.
I'll see you
very
soon.
We'll do another one soon, long version. Cheers for watching, everyone. Subscribe to my channel TV. Take the link in the description. Follow Andrew on all his social media platforms. I'll see you on the next one.